Hello?
Brad, Bill Doyle from the Worcester Telegram. We hear Kelly is playing tonight, and what can you expect from him? During the regular season, it took him a little while to get back in the rhythm.
Well, I just found out that he was going to go when we walked through at 2:45. So, you know, we'll play it by ear, see how the game's going and everything else, and you know, see what direction we decide to go. But certainly, it's great that he's available, and you know, certainly a chance that he plays for us.
So he's available, but he's not necessarily going to play. Is that what you mean?
Well, I mean, obviously that'll be ultimately it's going to be up to me because he hasn't done anything in a few days as we walk through. Certainly, I think that he could play minutes for us in the first half, could play some, but I'm not necessarily he's not necessarily going to be in it for sure. So we'll wait and see. But he is available.
Brad, Mike Petralia, WEEI, sticking with the Kelly theme. I assume that would positively impact your rotations and what you're able to do with the bench. Would it?
I mean, yeah, I think that's what I was just talking about. You know, we'll see. Obviously, we've had to play small quite a bit in this series to be effective. I think that, you know, we'll continue to do that from the start with Jonas at the 4, and, you know, we'll go from there.
Abby Chin, CSN. Coach, do you feel like your team has to play a lot better than they did in Game 3 to win here tonight?
Well, I think we have to play better from an execution standpoint. You know, obviously our energy was really good, played really hard. We've got to bottle that up and do that again. That's going to be imperative, and we're going to have to match, you know, their speed and continue to find the right shots and hopefully knock them down. You know, I think it's been the critical part of the whole series, and in the game that we did, you know, we gave ourselves a great chance to win. And I think that, you know, again, it goes back to what you can control, and finding those great shots is most important from my standpoint, and then playing with that same energy that we played with Friday night's important, obviously. Yes.
Coach Bob Schron, the Citizen. Two things. There's a sense of complacency sometimes after you get a game. It's a trend in the playoffs. How do you guard against that? And then another question, what are your expectations for Jared as going forward? And
well, I think kind of like what we did the other night. You know, we'll play. There's a chance, obviously, with Kelly back that we would play two bigs together. And when I say bigs, you know, I'm not really considering Jonas and Jay in that regard, that have played the 4 for us in the series. But, you know, it probably won't be a ton. So it just limits the minutes that you can play all those different guys, whether it's Amir, Jared, Kelly, Tyler, and such. Obviously, you know, we're not you know, we certainly have confidence in playing those guys together. We've done that at different times throughout the year. But we'll see how this game turns itself out. And judging by the first 3 games, you know, obviously being with more switching groups and playing more small has been better so far. So we'll see. We'll see. It's a tough position for all those guys to be in just because of the way the series is going. But we're going to need them all at one time or another to have success in this thing. And so, you know, each of them's in a different boat, and, you know, we'll see.
Brad, have you talked to the team, reminded them about keeping your cool going into this Game 4 after the chippiness of Game 3?
Yeah, I mean, I think we talk about all the time about obviously not wanting to cross that line, and at the same time it's going to be physical and competitive because, you know, you watch every playoff series, that's what they are. You're playing a team for the 5th time in 2 weeks. You know, they're used to us, we're used to them. It's prideful people on both sides of the floor, really good players. You know, there's going to be some of that, but obviously you don't want it to cross the line. That's something that certainly we've addressed. And we're not going to spend a ton of time on it, and I'm sure they aren't either. We got to focus on what we can do to play well.
Coach, Scott Souza, Metro West Daily News. Haven't asked you for a few days, but any updates on Avery Bradley? Is he continuing to improve, and do you have any sense?
I have no updates, but other than the fact that, you know, I've been told that it's been pretty consistent improvement, but there's no, you know, I think our timeline remains the same. It would be extremely unlikely that he would play in this series.